your authentic energy is here to change the world. And I think that it can seem a bit overwhelming, this idea of like, well, how can I change the world, right? But I want to give you a really simple example of how authentic energy can change people, how it can shape people. Sometimes it can seem a bit difficult to really understand, especially when you look at someone like me on YouTube, as to how I could be any different from the previous versions and expressions of myself. But I've seen observable change in my life through being inspired by other people. And it's not that I think these people were purposely going out of their way to inspire me, or that I was purposely trying to get inspired by the people, but I have been inspired by people's authentic energy. And a really marked change that I can observe in my life is that the clothes I'm wearing right now, this shirt, these trousers that I'm wearing, I made these, right? I hand sewed this shirt, I drew the pattern out, I cut it out of fabric, and I constructed it 100% by hand. I sewed these pair of trousers on a sewing machine. I found the fabric, and I made and designed these trousers. And if you'd asked me 2.5 years ago, do you see yourself sewing? I would have said no. I'd never sewed before in my life. And the reason being is because I was blocked, because I thought sewing was gay. And there's nothing wrong with being gay, right? But I was so preconditioned by the system, by the culture, by the society. I've been bullied at school for being a pretty boy, and I was made fun of and told I was gay, right? And so anything that was effeminate, that I expressed that was sort of feminine or flamboyant or different, I really repressed. And it's taken me to literally get into my 30s to suddenly feel comfortable enough to express parts of myself I never knew was possible. And a physicalized version of that is literally making clothes, sewing, right? And what changed me, or should we say what inspired me, again, not that I was trying to be inspired or that this person was trying to inspire me, is that I was in a gifted position where I was around another straight man who was clearly comfortable enough in himself to make clothes for himself and to dress himself in his vision and to express his authentic energy. And in feeling and seeing and being around that authentic energy, it showed me what was possible. It allowed me to give myself permission and think to myself, well, if this guy who's straight is making clothes for himself, why can't I do that? And it might seem like a bit of an obtuse example for you, right? Because you've got no interest in sewing, but making clothes, at least from my experience, has been a really, really profoundly life-changing experience, because you're markedly changing not only the way that you see yourself, but the way that other people see you and the way that you express yourself. And people then respond and react differently to you. And I'm not saying that you've got to go make clothes, but what I am saying is that this guy was expressing authentic energy, and his authentic energy changed me. And it gave me permission to be authentic myself and to dress myself in my vision and to express a voice I never knew I had, and to do things that I don't see on the high street or I see in shops, to make things that I don't see out there. And out of this expression of sewing, it's been kind of life-changing, because people have been commissioning me to make clothes for them. And never in my wildest dreams did I ever think that I would ever be making clothes for people, let alone for myself. But it's been really, really life-changing and special to do it, because I can see how not only me being able to express myself, but seeing people wearing my kit is changing their life, because then they feel comfortable to be able to dress in the things that they feel are cool, right? And so it's why I come to this point, which is that authentic energy is life-changing. You're literally going to change people's lives by expressing your authentic energy, and you might not realize it. You might not even be able to sort of like wrap your head around it. It might be really difficult for you to wrap your head around that, because you just think to yourself, well, how am I going to change somebody's life? In the same way that this guy who was making clothes for himself and expressing his authentic voice and energy, I don't think he had any desire to change somebody else's life. He was just simply being himself. And by simply being himself, that gave me permission to be myself. It gave me permission to say, well, if this guy is straight and he's sewing, why can't I do that? So it's sort of funny now to look back on it in hindsight, and in a way I sort of think it's trivial, but I know how blocked I was. I know how repressed I was, how I was not allowing myself to fully express what was so individually and uniquely within me. And I would say that microdosing helped tremendously in the sort of unraveling and deprogramming and dissolving of traumas that had been, shall we say, put upon me or imposed upon me by my colleagues at school or by the culture and the system and the society. And so all I can say to you is that, firstly, you need to allow yourself the opportunity to be authentic and to realize how being authentic is powerful. And secondly, I would say that surround yourself with people that are authentic and get rid of people that are not authentic, because that inauthentic energy has the opposite effect of allowing you to express. It makes you feel like, I can't be myself because these people don't feel comfortable in being themselves, so I can't then feel comfortable being myself around them. However, I will say this, if you get to the point where you're able to express your authentic energy, it is so important that you surround yourself with people that are not allowing themselves to be authentic, because your authentic energy will change them. Your authentic energy will literally give them permission. And like I say, it's not that I was like going out of my way to be inspired, or that the person that inspired me was going out of their way to inspire me, but the energy that that person gave off changed my life. So much so that I'm super grateful to God for putting me in that position and for giving that person the opportunity to express that authentic energy, because I feel like I've discovered myself. I feel like I'm expressing a part of myself that I never knew was possible. And for me, the flute is another example of discovering something that allows me to express a voice that I never knew I had. I never knew I was musical. And the flute is this other beautiful thing that I can see has markedly changed me, but also in me playing it, I've changed other people's lives. I've changed your life, right? Some of you have found my videos on YouTube on playing the flute, and you've enjoyed them, you've appreciated them. And I definitely know that when I've been out there in the world playing my flute on the beach or in a tunnel somewhere in London, that people have come up to me and said thank you, right? I can see that they've really appreciated it, or that I've even had people cry. And again, I never went out of my way to make people cry or to make people happy, but what I did was I was just following what made me happy and what inspired me, and I tried to express my authentic energy. And it's why I say authentic energy is so powerful, and it will literally change the world. You will change the world by expressing your authentic energy. And it's why I can't stress enough why it's so important to express your authentic energy. So, my brothers, my sisters, I'm not saying you have to sew, I'm not saying you've got to play the flute, but if I inspire you to do one of those things, do it. Please do it, because both of those outlets have changed my life. They've healed me more. They've allowed me to heal myself even more after being healed in expressing that part of myself. So I want to give you permission. I want to inspire you. I want to inspire you to be able to express what is so individually and uniquely within you. And again, I don't know what that is. I don't know if you're meant to sew, but what I do know is that whatever it is that you do, however it is that you express your authentic energy, it will change people's lives. because it will give people permission to be authentic in themselves and to be able to express parts of themselves they never knew was possible. So take it from me, in wearing my clothes that I made for myself, that aren't out there in the world, aren't available on the high street, in dressing myself in my vision, I feel like I've changed my life. I feel more comfortable in myself. I feel more fully expressive. I feel like I'm now able to be me. I'm able to walk down the street and feel more comfortable. Superficially, as superficial and as strange as it might be, right? I'm wearing my kit. I'm wearing my stuff that nobody else has. I'm being individually cool, individually unique, individually expressive. I don't know what it is that you're meant to do. I don't know how it is that you're meant to be authentic. But what I do know is that in and through being authentic, you will not only change your life, but you will change other people's lives, which is in a way more important, I would say. I would say that the most profound effect that we can have here on planet Earth is to affect people positively. So all we can do is give thanks to God, right? And give thanks to God for allowing this authentic energy to come through people and to inspire us. And we need to give ourselves permission to be authentic and to inspire others, because your energy is very, very, very powerful, and more powerful than you're allowing yourself to be right now. So my brothers, my sisters, I give you permission to inspire, and I give thanks to you for whatever it is that you end up doing and inspiring in this world. And I hope that this video can help you in expressing a more fully authentic version of yourself, and to give you permission to do so. Anyway, my brothers, my sisters, I send you love and blessings to you wherever you are in the world. I hope that you're doing well. And we give thanks to the one infinite creator.